So yeah,
Hey, listen, I believe 15 years from now, Megan's gonna tell the truth. She's gonna tell everybody she lied
Lied about what the Wack?
about what happened.
Every,
But she got
hold on.
shot.
I
What
have
was
to.
there
I
to
have.
lie
Hold on.
about?
She did not get shot. Y'all know damn well that woman did not get shot in her foot and twerking 7 days later on stage.
she
She
wasn't
You take
twerking
wasn't
a
seven
foot,
twerking
a
days
seven
flip of
later.
your
But
days
hold
foot,
on.
your
later.
Hold
ass
on.
Hold
is
Hold on.
on.
down
I
for
That's
wanna.
damn near a
for
year.
her.
I wanna.
She
I want
lied
to.
about
I
getting
want
shot.
to be. I want to be able to tell the truth. Play the truth. Hold on. Give me 1 second.
Here he goes. I knew he was up to something. He was too
Because we
fucking
have,
quiet.
yeah, I had to play the
Yeah,
truth
and they were
because
just
I had
saying
the
like,
court documents.
because you ruled the times because you had bad legal arguments, not because he didn't like you, right?
Yeah,
But they're trying,
yeah,
they're
yeah,
saying because you ruled against us so many times, you don't like us, and so you're biased, and so get off the case. You want me to go through
yeah.
the post trial stuff, or
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, post trial?
it'll be
Okay.
interesting to see how Hereford responds to this. But just,
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of people who are watching right now remember this. But after he was found guilty by 12 jurors on all counts and allegations on April 20, or that was on December 23rd. But then on April 21st, 2023, defendant released an Instagram post to his roughly 11.9 million followers, making unfounded accusations about the people, which would be the prosecutors, claiming both assigned prosecutors hid and suppressed exculpatory evidence and, quote, manipulated a false narrative. On April 25th, 2023, the defendant doubled down on his false accusations and again made unfounded statements on Instagram that both assigned prosecutors lied about the defendant being the shooter, manipulated the DNA results with LAPD expert Randy Zabeta, lied to the media, the world, and the jury, and used invalid and illegal tactics with respect to the DNA evidence. It's like, wow, this sounds like really serious allegations against prosecutors. Too bad none of it is true. Mm-hmm. The defendant then falsely claimed that his newly retained DNA expert suggested the only possible way the results of the DNA would have returned inconclusive would have been if LAPD had deliberately stopped the testing before it was completed. And then
oh my God.
Pause. Yeah, and it turns out the defense expert, he actually provided a declaration of this court in support of the motion, and the defense expert doesn't say anything like that. It says
of
he made no
not.
such claims.
There,
and then
that,
yeah.
I'm sorry. I have to cut in. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
That is so ridiculous. I have had hundreds of cases that involve DNA, and a significant portion of them, I couldn't say majority, but even if you said maybe a third or something, that come back as inconclusive, because that's just one of the possible things. Your client is excluded, your client is included, it's inconclusive, there's no DNA, like we tested the thing for DNA, there's nothing on it, right? All of those things are possible, are one of the many possible outcomes. DNA results being inconclusive could be because there's a DNA mixture, meaning multiple people have touched this thing and or the DNA has degraded, or the contact hasn't been significant enough to really get a full, reading, whatever the case may be. That does not mean that the prosecution did anything at all, or the police, to render the result as inconclusive. That is just a scientific outcome of running DNA testing. That is such an insane thing to allege by him. He should never have said that. That undermines every argument he ever makes.
Well, and then at the hearing, prosecutors were kind of Alex Bott was notably angry about this and said that actually the DNA results are a little more favorable to prosecutors than that. Like, I can't remember the exact numbers, but we could pull them up later on. But he said that they went ahead and leaned in Lane's favor and said inconclusive, even though the percentage or the probability is actually shows it's a little more favorable than just inconclusive. But they just decided to just, err on the side of the defendant and go for inconclusive. And then they get accused of like manipulating stuff in their favor. It's like, horrible. Oh, are you kidding me? Yeah, that's not. And one thing that stood out to me was this defense expert was, it sounds like he's Jose Baez's go-to defense expert for DNA, but he was the DNA expert for the defense in the Casey Anthony case. Okay. And has been there was a case in Colorado that he was apparently the trial judge disputed his expertise on, and the appellate court has since overturned that and said that he should have been allowed to testify. But there's a lot of questions about this guy's credibility and the actual worth of his expertise on DNA stuff. But it said they said he didn't make the claims that Tory claimed that he made, and actually in his declaration he essentially reviewed the same DNA reports previously reviewed by both the defense and the prosecution's DNA experts, both who testified at trial, and rendered a different opinion as to the results. And they were just saying that the idea, like the prosecutor said at the hearing, the idea that this guy's opinion would have been enough to outweigh the opinion of the prosecution's DNA expert and then the defense's own expert. And that was always the thing with the DNA case. It's like, why are they trying to challenge the very argument that their own DNA expert made?
Right.
It's inconclusive, you know?
Right. So when you say that the results were a bit more favorable to Tory Lanez, what it leads me, and just based on my experience with working with DNA in trials and criminal trials, what it leads me to think is that Tory Lanez could not be excluded. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like they couldn't conclusively say he was included, but they could not exclude him as a possible contributor to the DNA. Does that ring a bell?
Yeah, that was actually presented as to the jury. That is what they said to the jury, that it couldn't be included or excluded. But here, let me pull up the.
That's not necessarily favorable to the defense. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that he couldn't be included is what's favorable. Like, you think that the defense would want the jury to know that he couldn't be excluded. But the here, let me pull up the transcript here, and it said this is Alex Bott talking here. Do I have that? Well, maybe while I do this, you can oh, wait here.
While you're doing that, so we've got, as I was saying on the poll, 100 and something more people, 261 votes. And it's still holding steady at just enough. 62% of you say that the state is asking for 13 years, and that is just enough, versus too low, 23%, and too high, 15%, right? Some people want him to get more than 13 years. Some people, a minority of you, think that 13 years is too high. It's hard.
Now, I just wanted to tell y'all that his own lawyers could not prove that his DNA was not on that gun. So inconclusive does not mean that his DNA was not on there.
So when he come home 2026, 2027, then what, Ion?
He going back to Canada.
Yeah, he definitely going back to Canada.
Yeah, that's it.
He'd probably be out in 2 if he can go. If he shows that he's
He
going
gonna
to
get
go
that
home and
4-year
not come
enhancement
back,
off.
he could be home in 2 years.
That gun enhancement is 4 years. That shit come off, he be home.
Yeah, he'll be here, and they'll let him go home early if he goes back to Canada.
They
Yeah,
won't.
he'll be home. He gonna do a TV series.
But really quick, I just wanted to say, I think a lot of the issue of what happened when we asked what Tory could have done differently, I think all of them, this started with the fact that Megan said she wasn't saying anything, right? So what happens is we know that domestic violence, if there's any crime between a man and a woman, it's domestic. And California holds mandatory prosecution. So once the DA gets involved, right, and they're like, "Ooh, I got Megan, I got Tory, I'm not letting this go," right? Now everybody is out here talking, saying shit online. Their lawyers are trying to catch up. Megan's got a better PR team and way better lawyers. And this is how it fell out, because all of them were trying to hide something. That's why Kelsey ended up getting a partial immunity, because her lawyers went in gambling. Megan first started off saying she wasn't saying anything. So they came back. They were going to prosecute her. You can't do that in California. They will prosecute you if they have enough information to show that you are obstructing justice.
Or falsifying a report.
Or falsifying a
book
report.
your ass, yep.
Right? So because she wasn't going to go to no jail for these motherfuckers, right? So she's like, oh, I ain't going to no jail now. So her lawyer team got together. Tory's trying to trying to get the whole thing just shut down. So remember, he was playing like, y'all don't have nothing. They don't have no case, right? That was his whole defense for a long time, was that they didn't have a case. But he was going off the fact that Megan wasn't talking, right? But the prosecutors will put pressure on everybody in the situation. And here we are. And so I think what happened was the fact that they tried to play tough in the beginning instead of just coming out and saying, we was drunk. We was in the car talking shit. I found out she was fucking with him. I thought they played me. Whatever it was, right? That's what it seems like to me. We got in an argument, right? There was a gun in the car. Argument, a struggle over the gun happened. She got out the car and left. They still struggling over the gun, and it would have been a situation between Kelsey and Tori having to figure out, right? Might have been negligence, some sort of shit like that. Megan's not pressing charges, so it's a community service because there's no real reason for the defense to have to get investigators. Once they start having to pay money for your case, they're going to go through with your shit, okay? And then prosecutors have some juicy names in their hands, so why wouldn't they? So,
Okay.
in my personal
So
opinion, I think the
that
shit just got out of control.
okay, that doesn't make sense. If Kelsey and Meg, Kelsey and Tori were fighting over the gun and Meg in the car, how did the bullet end up? 5 shots ended up near Megan's feet.
Well, that's what I said, and Megan got out. They started talking about the gun. They tussled over the gun, whatever it is, right? We weren't there. I don't know.
Mhm.
But whatever it was, it made her get out the car, right? And decide she's walking. So it's probably because she didn't feel safe in the damn car, right? It's a gun in here, niggas. They talking about the gun, whatever it may be. And now I'm walking. And now they still in here tussling over the damn gun. Ain't no telling if he got out shooting, whatever it was, they could have had culpability of what, like, and went ahead and probably had a whole lot less drama. But because they played the game of I ain't talking and she ain't talking and we ain't talking, it put everybody on the spot. And now we got to all go against each other. And that's what the prosecutors would do. They would easily put y'all ass against each other.
So why did Tori pay for Kelsey's lawyers and bribe her if he didn't do anything wrong?
And medical
I
fees.
said he could have took culpability early. He did something. They all did something, right? He did something.
What what
Obviously,
did what did Megan do?
She cock blocked him
She
and
got
Cassie
out.
out.
listen.
She
This
got
was like
out.
what was it? The other boy was just saying earlier, right? People put themselves in situations. You like hot boys, you like bad boys and shit. You want to ride around with cats with guns. All this stuff, things happen. This is the liability of the lifestyle. Not saying she did anything wrong that day, right? But everybody got to take responsibility for their situation.
Yeah, how should she take responsibility by not hanging around with niggas?
No, by just telling what the fuck happened when they came and asked her the first time.
But
Okay,
she
got it.
did.
So
She didn't. She actually came out and said she wasn't telling. That's what she
Yeah,
first
because she
said.
was trying to protect him at first,
And
and
she
then he
shouldn't have been
came at
trying to protect
her.
anybody. She should have told the truth
I
and protected her.
absolutely agree.
She was
I
trying to
absolutely
protect
agree.
herself.
She was trying to protect him,
She
and
should
then
have
he
protected
came out
herself.
and started dragging her through the media, and her hand was forced, and she had to tell the truth. So
And
now what?
and let's be clear. There was
Listen,
you don't tussle for a gun and shoot it 5 times in one direction and hit only one target.
you
That's
don't know if
not
it's an
how it works.
automatic. Was it an automatic?
That
You don't have
that
to pull the trigger five times
the
for
gun
5 bullets to
expert, read
release
the
from a gun.
transcript.
It was a
Read the
That's not how
transcript.
semi-automatic
it
gun.
works.
It
That's
was a
not
Read
how
it.
it works.
semi-automatic.
It's not
It
how it
wasn't a
works.
revolver. That's what
It
y'all
was
making
a
it sound like.
No,
semi-automatic.
So
it's not.
meaning if you press it once, you can release up to 7 to 11
No,
bullets.
that's not what happened. We heard the audio. You can't play that when we heard the audio of the gun going off. There was no struggle.
What does that have to do? I'm
A
not saying anything about the
semi-automatic.
struggle. You didn't switch narratives. I was talking about the fact that the gun shooting 5 bullets
I'm
is just
still stuck
holding down the
on.
trigger.
Right, a
So you
semi-automatic.
said so. The only thing
That's
that
not how
Megan,
One mic on
semi-automatic
so the
works.
only thing
Ron.
that Megan could have done
That's an
is
automatic or
is
burst
snitch on
fire
him.
weapon.
Is snitch on him. That's what you're saying.
I don't think it's snitching. I think
No, I mean
snitching is
like telling
learned
him. You
for
know
the
what I mean.
streets. And if she's a performer professional and
Hmm.
the police show up and somebody shot at me, this is what I'm going to say. I'm going to tell the people what happened. Me, I'm not
Got
going to be
it.
out here playing these street games, trying to protect cats off this. What are we doing? Are you a gangster? Are you on? Are you in a gang and you out here protecting? Or were you going to the club with some friends and somebody shot at you? Like, and I'm not saying like bad Megan. It's not about that. I'm saying everyone has culpability. Kelsey, apparently she had gunshot residue on her. She did something. She was in there tussling for the gun.
No, she broke it up, is what she did, and gun residue spreads. If it's
That's
on,
the story we know right now. We'll find out one
But
day.
all of them had gun. So since Megan had gun residue on her, does that mean that she was? Do you know that you do know that
She
she was
might have
tending?
been tussling for
You
the
you
gun
do know
first too,
that
and that's why she got her ass
she
out
was
the car.
tending. She was tending to Megan's wounds in the back. You know that, right?
I have no clue. All I'm
Oh,
saying
okay.
is all of the
Well, okay. So
narrative.
my question to you,
All I'm saying is I
yeah.
feel
So
like
hold on. My question to you is, if Megan, if Kelsey shot Megan, why the fuck would they get in the back? Because y'all like to talk about hood
I have no
culture.
clue if Kelsey
Let's
shot
talk. No, no,
Megan,
no. Because
so I
y'all
couldn't.
don't know nothing when it comes to Megan, but know everything when it comes down to
Ion,
protecting Tory.
Ion.
I don't know nothing
If it,
about
if
Y'all
it,
never
Tory.
know anything when it
I
comes down to
literally just
Megan.
hey,
said,
Y'all never know
Ion,
nothing when it
that
comes down to her, but when
Tory
it comes down to Tory, there's
and
every excuse.
Megan
Let me
both played
finish.
the game that they
Let me
wasn't
finish.
talking.
Let me finish. At the end of the day, since we're talking about hood culture, I'm not getting in no car in the back of a car with somebody who shot me, period.
At
There's a
all.
reason why Tory got in the front seat and switched with Megan because of what happened. That's what I want to know. And I also want to know why the fuck, okay, if Kelsey shot her, would she automatically jump on the bandwagon of going to hang her? Like, first of all, one, what y'all should have said is Tory should have snitched. He's the one that's getting locked up.
He sure should have.
Okay, if something
He
did
sure
happen.
should have.
And you know what he did
And
say?
Kelsey too.
You know what he did say? He said that Kelsey didn't shoot her. So is he a liar or is he not?
I think that his ass should have said something soon as they got there. We was drunk in the car. This is what happened. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to hurt the girl. What this shit would have been over
ain't
with.
nobody shoot that girl. She stepped on glass.
Okay,
She
I
sued.
don't
all
know.
I
I
know
don't
is if
know.
they was
Hold
tussling
on,
for the
hold on.
gun and the
I
gun
know that you
accidentally
may
went
be a
off,
little bit slow.
then
Hold on. She was shot, period.
She was
You,
shot.
you're not a doctor, okay? The people, the medical professionals said that she was shot. So don't come up here spreading misinformation. She was shot.
They removed bullet fragments from
right,
her.
it was a fragment. It was a
Like
fragment. So she could have been hit by a bullet that ricocheted, broke apart, and
y'all really
actually
got
hit
It
her.
does
On both
not
But
feet?
Or
matter.
the truth
somebody
of
shot at
the
her.
truth of the
It
On
matter
don't
both
is that
matter.
feet? It don't
the
matter.
truth
This is why this is
can I just
why
make my point, bro?
hold on. Hold on.
Like y'all
This is
jumping
why
over my
I will
point. I
never
just
be this
like
is why I don't go to no hood, and I like to count how many black people is in the motherfucking party. Because when I hear y'all try to dissect shit like this, it really motherfucking scares me. It scares
bro,
the fuck out of me
respectfully,
to
bro.
hear y'all trying to
Respectfully,
break down
I
and
couldn't even finish
justify.
saying
It
what I
don't
was
matter
saying.
if she was shot to the if the bullet
Yo,
did a left 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. The fact that she had bullet fragments in her feet is that this is some scary shit. And the reason why I want people to speak, because I want y'all to be able to hear. There's no reason in silencing y'all. This is the truth. This is the
well,